Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with a collection video. Or actually, I guess it'll be less of a collection video and just more of a box set review. Now, I've been going over the films by Mario Bava, one of the absolute most influential filmmakers, Italian filmmakers, especially of Italian horror, Mario Bava. I've had a couple of his films for the longest time. I mean, way back, I'm doing this a little over a year, but back when I did my slasher and giallo marathon, the only films I had were the two giallos, that's what these are, Bay of Blood and Blood and Black Lace. Not very good if you're doing an Italian horror collection. But since then I got The Whip and the Body, which I reviewed, and the American version of Black Sabbath, which I also reviewed. And I normally don't buy offline, but I found a way to get these, and I've seen these go for a lot. And yeah, these aren't in the best condition, but they're not bootlegs. And I found them both for a reasonable price, and that is the Mario Bava Collection Volume 1 and 2. I love these sets. I love the packaging. Volume 1 comes with 4 films, Volume 2 comes with 8. So we have this awesome, pretty sturdy cardboard packaging. Hope you guys can see that. I didn't really work the lighting up for this video. That slides out. Of course, it comes with Black Sunday, probably still my favorite, which now my favorite Bava film. Black Sabbath, which I'll get to. The Girl Who Knew Too Much, Knives of the Avenger, and Kill Baby Kill. The only ones I have not reviewed would be Knives of the Avenger, The Girl Who Knew Too Much, and actually Black Sabbath, because when I got this, I thought, well, I already have Black Sabbath, but for this price, I can get, okay, I lied, 5 films. I can get 4 other Bava films that I've actually been wanting to see for a long time. Come to find out, this, in this set, this Black Sabbath is actually the original Italian version. So you have the 3 stories in the correct order. Everything that was cut out of the telephone story for the American version is in this one as the original Italian music. So really, I got all 5 films I didn't have. So I have both versions of Black Sabbath, which I think is really awesome. And of course, I love how it has the original Italian posters and American posters on them. On the back, AKA, what the original Italian titles were, like Three Faces of Fear, Viking Massacre, Girl Who Knew Too Much, The Mask of Satan. Again, I reviewed this. Beautiful film, wonderful film. And Curse of the Living Dead. I really enjoyed Kill Baby Kill as well. There's not much for features on these, which is fine. I wasn't really expecting any sort of like Bava type of like documentary or anything. You get a Mario Bava bio, like a screen text, or like this one has one of Barbara Steele as well. You do get trailers, poster galleries, a life in film interview with Mark Damon, who was in Black Sabbath. You get a Boris Karloff bio with that, so that's great. Remembering the Girl with John Saxon is a one for a girl who knew too much. The only takeaway, I guess I would say, about Volume 1 would be Knives of the Avenger. Which I know Bava was technically a versatile director. He is known for his horror and giallos, which is more or less what I thought I was getting. I mean, it's totally okay that it's got other films in it, but, you know, I would have liked it if they were all horror. Like, I guess this was called a sword and sandal film. I'm still gonna check it out. But even Volume 2 isn't all horror either. But, you know, for one film out of 5 not being horror, I'll still take it. So, yeah, Volume 1, Black Sunday, Black Sabbath, the original Italian version. So, if all you have is the American one, it's still worth the investment. But it's also worth the investment just to have this really nice set. So that's Volume 1. Volume 2, and Volume 2 is in much better condition than this one. Comes with 8 films. And I do believe there could be not saying there will, but he made enough films that they could do a Volume 3, and that would be awesome. In this collection, you have, of course, Bay of Blood, which I already had, aka Twitch of the Death Nerve, which I still love this film. It's a great giallo, bloody giallo. I did put it in my slasher playlist because it is such a profound influence on slasher films, but it's still a giallo. I feel like I have to say that every time I talk about it. Comes with Lisa and the Devil, but also the re-edited with new material, The House of Exorcism. I've heard one is far superior than the other. We'll find out because I'm still going through these films. We have Barren Blood, which I reviewed, aka Torture Chamber of Barren Blood. This film gets hated on. I enjoyed it. This one I'm not really crazy about because I've heard it's not that great. I'm not that big into spaghetti westerns, other than the modern ones by Tarantino, but Roy Colt and Winchester Jack, I probably could have found a horror film to replace that. Kidnapped, aka Rabid Dogs, which I guess is more like a psychological thriller, 70s grindhouse road movie. I am interested to check this out. And then, of course, we have his giallo film, $5 for an August Moon, which I'm stoked to check out. Always loving to check out giallos. And comes with, I guess what they're calling one of the first early Italian sex comedies, 4 Times That Night, which I always thought sounded like a giallo title. That's what I thought it was till I looked into it. These are all similar as far as special features go. Basically just commentaries by like producers or, you know, like a Bava biographer, Tim Lucas, or nothing at all if you're Roy Colt and Winchester Jack. Rabid Dogs gets a making of, but not Bay of Blood. Okay, well. I mean, I would have easily traded Roy Colt and Winchester Jack for a Hatchet for a Honeymoon. You know, I will say that is the only downside to these two collections, is that, you know, if you're like me, even though I admire the guy's work in general, I'm just not too crazy to check out his spaghetti westerns. But, you know, well, from what I've heard, Hercules in a Haunted World, people like that one. Planet of the Vampires, the science fiction horror. Danger Diabolic, I've heard of. Action, that's an action film. $5 for an August Moon. Shock. Yeah. I mean, I've heard some people like 4 Times That Night. I would have traded Roy Colt and Winchester Jack for Hatchet for a Honeymoon. I could have traded 4 Times That Night for Shock. And maybe even Knives of the Avenger for, hell, either Planet of the Vampires, or hell, even the one that made it so he couldn't do the Dunwich Horror with Karloff. Wow, huge brain fart. I apologize. I'll get it. Dr. Goldfoot and the Girl Bombs. Yeah, even put that on there. But so yeah, my entire collection, and I know I learned through my David Cronenberg video, you can't do a collection video unless you have every single frame of celluloid that the filmmaker has put out. But, you know, I went from having Bay of Blood and Blood and Black Lace, 2 absolute classics. American version of Black Sabbath, a very shitty bootleg of The Whip and the Body. Look how terrible that is. I've reviewed all those already. But the main focus of this video was these 2 awesome DVD collections, and these have been out for a while. I'm not sure when the release was on these. I think it was 2007, Stars Media. That sounds about right. But Volume 1 comes with these 5 films. No, 4 horror films, one of which is the first ever Giallo, The Girl Who Knew Too Much, widely considered the first Giallo. I've also heard that about Blood and Black Lace, but they're both Bava. Knives of the Avenger, sword and sandal film, but, you know, great collection nonetheless. And again, if you have the re-edited, fucked up version of Black Sabbath, it's still worth your while to get this, because you get the original Black Sabbath, which I will also review. In Volume 2, you get Lisa and the Devil and House of Exorcism, Bay of Blood, Baron Blood, Kidnapped, aka Rabid Dogs, Roy Colt and Winchester Jack, the Spaghetti Western, 4 Times That Night, the sex comedy, and the Giallo, $5 for an August Moon. Again, I would have traded a couple, the non-horrors, for other ones, but nonetheless, these are awesome sets. Very glad to have both of them. They look great on a shelf, especially with other Italian films. The first time I saw them, they were over like $100 the first time I saw them online. I was like, fuck. But then I found them for a great price that I couldn't beat. Very happy with them. But yeah, let me know what your favorite Bava films are, what ones you're excited for me, what ones you're looking forward to hear my thoughts of, for better or worse. But anyway, thank you for watching.